Hey there. You ever been to the beach, tasted that salty air, and just wondered, why? Why is the ocean so salty? It seems like a simple question, but the answer is this incredible story, and today we're going to uncover it together.
I mean, it's a super valid question, right? The water we drink isn't salty, so what's the deal with the ocean? Well, the answer takes us on this epic journey, literally over millions of years, all the way from the highest mountains down to the seafloor. So let's get right to it. Where does all that salt actually come from?
All right, so your first guess might be, well, the salt must come from in the ocean, right? But nope, the secret to the sea's saltiness actually begins way, way far away from any beach. It all starts on land.
I'm serious. Most of the salt that's in the ocean today didn't start out there. It actually came from rocks and soil. You know, the stuff all around us, sometimes thousands of miles from the coast. But before we get into how it made that crazy journey, we need to talk about what we even mean by salt.
So when you hear salt, you're probably thinking of the stuff you sprinkle on your food. But that's just one kind. We're actually talking about all sorts of different mineral salts, and they're literally locked away deep inside the Earth's rocks. You can almost think of rocks as these ancient little treasure chests, just packed with these minerals.
Okay, so we've got all this salt trapped in rocks, a lot of them nowhere near the water. So how does it get to the ocean? Well, that's the next part of our story. It turns out our planet has this massive, super complex delivery service that's been running for a long time.
It all kicks off with something super simple: rain. Now, rainwater isn't 100% pure. It's actually a tiny bit acidic. So as it falls and washes over all the rocks and soil, it acts like this gentle little scrub brush, slowly dissolving those mineral salts. And all that water, now carrying those tiny bits of salt, starts to flow into streams and rivers. And that's the beginning of its big trip.
Think about it. Every single river on Earth is doing this, all the time. It's like this giant, slow-moving conveyor belt, constantly picking up tiny bits of salt and carrying them along. And for millions and millions of years, that conveyor belt has had just one final drop-off point: the ocean.
Okay, wait a second. You might be thinking, if rivers are carrying all this salt, why aren't they super salty too? And that's a great point. They are a little salty, but you can't really taste it. So the big question is, why does the salt get stuck in the ocean? Why does it build up there? This is where the real magic happens.
And here it is, the key to the entire puzzle: evaporation. It's all about the sun. The sun's heat warms up the surface of the ocean, and the water turns into vapor and rises up to make clouds. Simple enough. But the salt? The salt is way too heavy to go along for the ride. So while the water leaves, the salt, it gets left behind.
Now, this is so important to get. This didn't just happen in a few years. We're talking about this cycle: rivers dropping off salts, the sun taking away the fresh water, happening over and over and over again for millions of years. Seriously, just picture a tiny bit of salt being added to a giant bowl every single day for eons. That's exactly how our oceans got so incredibly salty.
All right, let's do a quick recap. Let's put all those puzzle pieces together and look at the whole journey from start to finish. Plus, I'm going to tell you about a cool little experiment so you can see the science in action with your own two eyes.
So it really breaks down into 4 main steps. Step 1, rain falls and dissolves salts from rocks on land. Step 2, all those rivers act like taxis, carrying a salt to the ocean. Step 3, the sun comes along and evaporates the pure water, lifting it into the sky. And step 4, the salt gets left behind, building up and getting more and more concentrated over an unimaginable amount of time. And you can totally see this for yourself. It's super easy. Just take a bowl, fill it with some water, stir in some salt, and leave it out in the sun. Over a few days, you'll see the water level drop as it evaporates, and guess what's left at the bottom? A crust of salt. You're literally watching a mini ocean get saltier right in your backyard. How cool is that?
And really, that's the whole beautiful scientific story. So the next time you're at the beach and you feel that salty spray, you'll know it's not just water. It's the end of an incredible ancient journey. A story about rain, rocks, rivers, and the sun, all working together for millions and millions of years.
Hey, thanks so much for joining me on this one. If you thought that was cool, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on our next big question. We'll see you then.